good morning, New Orleans, and welcome to the Good Morning Show right here on WBOK, 1230 a.m. on your radio dial. Of course, you can catch us on WBOK's Facebook page, and you can catch us on WBOK's YouTube channel as well. I'm Will Sutton, and I am blessed. The Lord woke me up on this good and glorious Monday, planted my feet on the ground, and got me on over to our Black Talk radio station. And right here with me is Ro Brown.
Good morning. Good morning.
You got here,
Will,
too.
and everybody.
Yeah. And Jared on the other side of the glass.
Woo! Jared fixed it.
Yeah. Yep. Technical issues before we came on, and like, uh-oh. But
Jared fixed it.
Mr. Jared to the rescue. Oh, boy. So how was your weekend, man?
Oh, just fine. Good one.
Did Mary have a good Mother's Day?
I guess she did. I guess she did. Went to breakfast, and she and our daughter, about mid-afternoon, they left and didn't come back till last night. So.
All right.
Well, they went to eat crawfish at a friend's house and all. And
hung out.
I just sat around and read and listened to music and looked occasionally up at a basketball game now and then, and that's about it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, on Sunday, So yeah. How about you?
Miss Cheryl had a good Mother's Day.
I was going to ask.
She, I didn't realize that Dookie Chase had resumed their Mother's Day brunches because COVID, they went away and hadn't come back, but apparently they're back.
So you went to
Dookie Chase. We found out about that. We saw Chase's on Friday at a lunch, and she immediately said, "That's what I'm doing." I was like, "Oh, okay," because I had been asking all week.
Miss Stella.
Yeah, we saw Miss Stella. We saw Duke. So this was at the New Orleans and Company Tourism and Hospitality Luncheon.
Okay.
And it was a coincidence, and got to talking, and before I know it, we had plans. And I'm really glad we did because it was really delicious. It was, choice of gumbo or bisque.
I was going to say, what did you eat, greedy man?
Yeah, choice of gumbo or bisque, and then a fabulous buffet with salmon, fried chicken, dirty rice, jambalaya, and potatoes.
Mother's Day brunch.
Spinach and mimosas for the moms.
You have to make a reservation?
We made it that day and confirmed the next day.
So you have to make a reservation?
Well, yeah, it's probably always best.
Yeah.
Always best, yeah.
You don't have to. But
you don't have to. But
Gotcha.
But it's a good idea. It's a good idea. That was wonderful. And then having an opportunity to have time with her son after that was great. I went and spent time with my dad, a 95-year-old dad, so I did that. But
that sounds good.
I asked her to gifts over at Grade last evening, and it went pretty well. So I'm happy that she's happy, with her Mother's Day. So, oh boy! But meanwhile, there's lots of stuff that has been boiling over the last several days since we've been off the air on Friday.
You think?
As we were on the air, actually, there was some amazing gathering for the Fair Maps Mobilization in Baton Rouge. Folks from New Orleans and Monroe and Shreveport, Lake Charles, Alexandria, and, of course, Baton Rouge. Best I could see, at a minimum, there was dozens, and certainly looks like scores, and in some pictures and videos look like hundreds, because the Senate Governmental Affairs Committee room was packed.
Yeah.
And they filled another committee room, and they filled another committee room, and they filled the hallway. They might have filled a third committee room. Man, a lot of folks turned out.
Saw that, huh?
Yeah. So that's real good because what's happening is really, really disgusting.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
for those of you all who weren't aware, the reason all those folks showed up is because of the Calais decision and seeming to give Republicans a green light. Do what you like.
It's a it's a long term and a short term green light.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the long term is kind of obvious to most people, you know, that you're trying to lessen or weaken black representation.
Mm-hmm.
The short term is they know they feel like they're going to get blasted in the midterm election in November.
Right.
That's the short term.
Absolutely.
That's the hurry of it all.
That's right. Yeah. So we had,
they're going to get blasted because they know that, people are hurting because of them.
hurting, not feeling good, angry.
Yeah. And they know that this is a way that they could, save controlling the House. Because if they don't, like Donald Trump has told them, if they take over the House, I'm going to get impeached.
Mm-hmm.
Take over the House, a lot of other things that it's going to,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm going to have a problem doing. And so they're trying to protect that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the short term and the long term.
Yep. So, and then there was the hearing, and we had a historic moment with the 4 black congressional representatives, 4 black Democrats, showing up in the same place at the same time.
Cleo Fields,
incumbent
Cedric
for
Richmond,
the 6th, Cedric Richmond, former 2nd district,
William Jefferson,
and incumbent Troy Carter for the 2nd district. So a lot of cameras and video came out for that. And Mr. Jefferson, not like he's been dead. He's been out and about. I mean, if you move around enough, you might see him. But he hadn't been like making public comments.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised to see him there.
Yeah.
I mean, even though we saw him last week, you and I did.
True. Yeah, right.
But I was just surprised to see him there.
Yeah, I thought it was really
surprised, but not surprised. Put it that way.
Yeah, it's really important. It's really, really important. And if you've been involved intimately as a part of this governmental process, this democracy in a legislature or otherwise, you should be concerned.
Mm-hmm.
You should be concerned, and he obviously felt strongly enough to come out, make a public appearance, be a part of that foursome, and there were a number of other people as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to be hearing more about that. We'll be getting an update from Ashley Shelton from the Power Coalition about what that morning was like, what that day was like, and where we see things moving forward from here.
Yeah.
We're going to also hear from Simone Milos about the Mississippi River Delta and Governor Jeff Landry's claims about canceling the mid-bacteria diversion. So that's been a hot topic, and she's going to talk with us about that a little later on. And we're going to certainly want to hear from you all as well, because we had a number of things happen last week, and particularly toward the end of the week, where we ran out of time for calls. So I know some of you all were fired up after hearing Troy Carter and Cleo Fields talk about the redistricting and that fight. So if you want to weigh in on that, we certainly welcome what you have to share. And there were a number of other things as well. And then we got a big event tonight. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. Over at Dillard University for a event talking about what is happening and why we need to be concerned. My take is more people seem to be concerned, but not enough, because I was looking at the early voting numbers and look better than normal for something like this, but doesn't look like enough people.
Not as good as it should be.
No. That's my opinion. Maybe we'll see what some others think about that.
Well, you are an opinion guy.
Yes, I am an opinion guy. am.
There's something I want to ask you about before the show is over.
Okay, all right. I look forward to that too.
Uh,
But what's that number that callers can, our WBOK family of callers can dial, and we can hear from them?
504 582 9422. 504 582 9422.
All right, you're listening to WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Good Monday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. Today, the New Orleans City Council will hold a special meeting to discuss the clerk of court after Governor Jeff Landry signed a new law eliminating the criminal clerk seat. The move blocked Calvin Duncan from taking office, but he may have another chance at getting the position. Today's meeting is expected to take about 45 minutes, and after the council introduces the items, they'll take public testimony, give brief comments, and put it up for a vote. In Baton Rouge, lawmakers will consider a new congressional map this week. The 4 options proposed Friday eliminate one of both majority black districts. Opponents of redrawing the map say it could lead to inaccurate and unfair representation. This all comes after the U.S. Supreme Court struck down Louisiana's current map, ruling it was racially gerrymandered. Governor Jeff Landry removed the U.S. House races from the May 16th ballot while lawmakers redraw a map. A Senate committee will vote on a proposal before sending it to the full Senate. Also, just a reminder, voting for the May 16th election picks back up this Saturday. There's a lot of big races you can vote on: U.S. Senate, Supreme Court Associate Justice, and Bessie District 1. And the New Orleans RTA Board has launched a nationwide CEO search. This comes after the board announced a leadership transition at their most recent meeting. The RTA has not shared any information on the search and their plans for an interim CEO. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK. Have a great day.
Hello, friend. Tavis Smiley here with a special announcement. You can catch my show at a new time. Weekdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Same great topics, same great guests, same great conversations, just a little earlier in the day. It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays 1 to 4 p.m. only on WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming back again. Appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me back again.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you for putting up with me.
So you just heard from Daryl Forges that the city council is making some moves, and this follows the Fair Maps mobilization from last week. That part was redistricting. The part that city council is focused on is the clerk position.
Right. That's what I want to ask you.
Yeah.
So what is this? What does this mean? What does this mean for Miss Napoleon, who's already, civil clerk and now is both, I guess, and well, what is it? What are they doing?
Well,
They want to hold an election? I mean, what do they do? Just push her aside? She has to run for it or whatever. I don't know.
Well, I think that's all evolving. The action that city council plans to take today is what they believe is their right and their responsibility for a city-based position. So the New Orleans has been the only parish for some time with a criminal district court clerk and a civil court clerk, and the legislature moved rather rapidly to merge the two according to the measure that went through the legislature and was signed into law by the governor before duly elected clerk-elect Calvin Duncan could take office on May 4th. But then the judge overturned it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he went to work.
Mm-hmm.
And less than a few hours later, another judge overturned
Overturned
that.
it. Yeah.
So then he left work. And meanwhile, lawyers got to work, and leaders got to work, and District Attorney Jason Williams got to work, and our Mayor Helena Moreno went to work, and a number of other people. So this was not a small thing, but in basically their view of looking at what the governor and the legislature has done is that this is a newly created office. So the governor's intent and Jay Morris's intent was to merge those offices into one because it's a waste of money. We don't need that. We don't need two clerks.
Right.
And so merge it into one unified clerk office. Their point.
And you heard him mention Jay Morris. That's the legislator from Monroe who wants to be the mayor in New Orleans.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So with the local governing authority, this is the argument is that the Louisiana Constitution provides that when there is a vacancy for a local elected office, that the city council must act to appoint an interim office holder and has up to 20 days to do that. And so that's the action that they're planning to take today. Because if they don't do it within 20 days, then that power goes to the governor. Now, the way it has been discussed by the governor, Jay Morris, or the legislators, is that this would automatically combine with the civil court clerk role, just automatically merge on over. That is where you mentioned Chelsea Napoleon, the incumbent civil court clerk for the last several years. And as she has said, she didn't ask for this, but this is the law. And so she's following the law.
Yeah.
And the interpretations that she's received, my understanding is that you now are in charge. Well, others say not so fast. So the intention is to challenge the constitutionality of the criminal clerk's office or the consolidated clerk's office, and this is in part. This is why the DA is involved, because to protect prosecutions and convictions and other recordings, because the criminal court clerk has two primary roles. One is keeper of records, and the other is chief elections officer.
Right.
So with that records part, if I understand me correctly, and if the DA or other attorneys are listening, feel free to come in and add on or course correct me. But if you have something going through a system with a person who is not duly authorized, then you open yourself up for challenges in that case and some of the paperwork and processes related to that. And so that's what that is about. And then after that would be filled by appointment. Then there would be a election to fill the new unified position.
Okay.
That's my summary.
Okay.
Best I got at the moment, based on the information that
Well, that's pretty good.
Based on the information that I have. And we will hear much more today during and after the city council takes action today, because one of the things that they intend to do is appoint an interim clerk for the unified position. But I haven't seen anything over the weekend about who that might be.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
I mean, could it be Chelsea Napoleon?
Yeah.
Could it be Calvin
Dylan
Duncan?
Duncan.
Could it be Darren Lombard? Could it be Edwin Lombard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Or maybe somebody on city council says, I'd like to do that, and then run. I mean, I'm not sure you would want to do that, but, other people are always interested in elected office. So an appointment gives you a leg up.
Will it be Will Sutton?
No. We can answer that right now. It will not be Will Sutton. And if it is, it won't be this Will Sutton. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Look, we're going to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to Ms. Malaz about the Barrett Terrier, the mid-Barrett Terrier. Oh, man, the drama. It goes on. We've got to learn to live with water, but we got big disagreements about how to live with water. And so she's going to come in and give us the Restore the Mississippi River Delta perspective on that. I'm Will Sutton. I'm here with Ro Brown. We do have a talk line number so we can hear your voices. What's that number, Ro?
504-582-9422.
This is WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Today is a WDSU First Warning Weather Impact Day. We are talking about some early morning fog, especially for the North Shore. After that, we are talking about some heavy rain beginning after 2 p.m., lasting all the way through midnight. The heaviest of it likely going to happen around 4 to 7 p.m. for today. And then highs reaching 81 to 85. Lows for tonight, 63 to 70. Rain, though, is expected to end by Tuesday morning. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
Norman Robinson is back.
Can you hear me now?
And he's taking no prisoners.
Can you hear me now?
Each weekday, Norman Robinson brings you commentary with Off the Top.
The incident was shocking, disturbing, disgusting, disappointing, and sad.
Each weekday, Off the Top with Norman Robinson is heard exclusively right here.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
Life has a way of shifting priorities, changing needs, and pivoting plans. Home Bank is there for all of them. Their bankers partner with you for every step along the way, from understanding your needs to celebrating your success. Home Bank is invested in the vibrant spirit of our community and in you. So partner with them. Stop on by any banking center in the greater New Orleans area or visit home24bank.com to get started today. Good for business, good for life. Home Bank, a member of the FDIC.
City Park is where to go when you don't know where to go. Turn towards the city center and start walking. Before long, you'll end up where you belong, at the heart of the city, New Orleans City Park. Stroll along the reeded marsh, wander through the sculpture garden, rest and recharge beneath ancient oak trees. This is where your spirit goes to grow. It's in our nature to yearn for nature. NewOrleansCityPark.org, heart of the city.
I'm Cynthia Willard Lewis, and I encourage you to vote Nick Alvarez. He will protect Louisiana families and fight for lower health care costs for everyone. Vote Nick for U.S. Senate.
I'm Nick Alvarez, and I approve this message.
Our power bill's up again.
Oh, feels like everything costs more these days.
I saw Mark Wright and John Young are running for the Public Service Commission. Could they help?
The PSC controls our electric bills. Definitely not.
Why not?
Well, Mark Wright wrote the law raising Louisiana's sales tax to the highest in America. Then Wright took thousands from utility companies he'd regulate. Even tried letting politicians use campaign cash on fancy perks. And the other guy, John Young, backed a $22 million property tax plan.
So both have a record of making folks pay more, and now Wright and Young want to take control of our power bill.
Unfortunately.
Sounds like Mark Wright and John Young are wrong for the PSC.
Very wrong.
Paid for by Fair Rates First, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. FairRatesFirst.com.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Happy to be here with you. If you need to be somewhere at 7:25, you got 1 minute because it is 7:24 a.m. You got somewhere to be at 7:30. You got a few more minutes if you're already out and about. And of course, it is a school day, so if you're going around those schools, 20 miles per hour is the school zone speed limit, folks. Not 25, 29, certainly not 41. So make sure you watch out for our babies and kiddos so they can get to their jobs, what they need to do, get to those schools and get that education. Shout out to the assistant principals on transportation duty and the bus drivers. Appreciate that. Appreciate what y'all do. All right, look, we're going to jump into conversation. I am Will Sutton. I'm here with Ro Brown. We're going to jump into conversation with Simone Maloz. Thank you for returning to WBOK.
I was hoping for an
no
invitation.
stranger.
Yes, I was hoping for an invitation back. I am happy to be here.
When were you here last, Miss Simone?
Just a couple weeks ago, probably a little over a month or so.
You must be important.
Yeah, well, I have a lot to say. I have a lot that my family and friends will attest. I have a lot to say.
Yep. Well, Simone is the campaign director for Restore the Mississippi River Delta. And when you say Mississippi River Delta, I'm just going to go ahead and say people sometimes are confused what the Mississippi River Delta is.
Yes.
And I find that to be true, not just in New Orleans, but up and down Louisiana, in Mississippi. Of course, it's the Mississippi River Delta, Arkansas. I could go on, but Simone's much better situated to say, what is the Mississippi River Delta?
Yeah, it's the boot, right? We are exactly this beautiful delta in one of the world's largest rivers, one of the most productive deltas. And we have to remember that we're on some of the newest land in the United States. And decisions that are made up and down the river, the Mississippi River, affect us down here all the time. But of course, we are the gateway to that river as well. So much shipping, so much commerce comes up that river. So much depends on that river. Drinking water supply for hundreds of thousands of people here in South Louisiana. But really, at the end of the day, Will, it's a lifeline. It is an amazing resource that we have here in our state, and our future is connected to that.
So to give people a visual, so this is radio, so we don't have TV, so but we are on streaming. But give them a visual of what are we talking about with the Mississippi River Delta and then Mid-Metro.
Yes, for the most part, when we talk about the Delta, we talk about anywhere between the Atchafalaya, which is pretty much south central Louisiana, dead center of the state, and it swings all the way through that kind of fan, through the St. Bernard area, Chandeleur Islands, kind of makes that fan up into Mississippi. And the reason why we include the Atchafalaya, there is a major structure called Old River Control Structure, and that determines how the river is split. And so that it goes 70% goes down the main stem of the Mississippi River, and 30% goes down the Atchafalaya. And so we're connected all the way up there to how much that helps the Delta, right? How much water and sediment goes that way for the Delta. And so that's really complicated, how you manage that, how much water and sediment on any given day, how much it rains up the higher parts of the river, how much that saltwater wedge might be coming up, how much the Gulf of America is coming up through the south if there's not enough water in that river. And so it's a really, really complex system for the Mississippi River. But again, I can't say it enough. At the end of the day, it is a lifeline for us here in South Louisiana, and our future really depends on it.
Well, as you well know, last summer, the governor made a huge announcement and said, after all the work that we have done in this, we don't need to keep doing this anymore. So
right.
the $3 billion sediment diversion project was canceled.
Yes.
Canceled. So is it done and done?
So you asked about that. Let's step back and talk about what, man, this is early for a Monday, but yes. So let's take a step back and talk about the project. You did ask about that. Those sediment diversion projects are essentially river reconnections. We were working on this project one time, and we had some experts in that were coming in from all over the country that were coming to talk to us about this project. It took us 6 years to get a permit. To just get a permit. They've been working on this for a decade or more. So we did have people. We had people from all over come in and talk to us about it. And so I was talking to a fellow, and he's a world-renowned expert in this kind of stuff. And he says, so you're trying to do what the river wants to do, or how the river built Louisiana. I'm like, yes, it is that simple. We're trying to build South Louisiana back. And he said, but what you need is control. And we said, yes, that's exactly what we need. We can't depend on crazy spring floods or, how much snow melt helps in the north. And so it's 2026. We have the proper tools in place to look at that, to look at the science, to engineer something, to put something on the river that has gates that can open and close, that we can say, hey, look, there's a lot of water coming. There's not enough water coming. And so at the end of the day, that was a river reconnection. And the reason why we wanted that is because that's what built us in the first place. That is what provides that sustainable water and sediment, right? We can go in the river right now and take sediment. We could go offshore and take sediment and put it in the ground and build something today, but it's not going to last. And that is the whole idea behind those sediment diversions, is that we wanted that river reconnection so it could last. So again, over 10 years of study, these river reconnections have been in the plans for decades. Next year will be the 100th anniversary of us levying the Mississippi River. Since then, people have known we needed to tap into that river and have a more controlled river reconnection there. So this is not a new idea. This has been around for a long time. The Wax Lake outlet, which is associated with the Atchafalaya, is building land right now as part of that 70-30 split. It is building land right now. There are outlets off of the Mississippi River, mostly on the East Bank, and they are building land right now as we speak. So this isn't an experiment. This was thought out. This had so much science behind it. And really importantly, it had community input. They had hundreds of meetings about this project, and not everybody was happy about it. There were some people that did not like some of the effects of that, but there was going to be money in that plan to talk about how we could address those negative impacts. But like you said, they decided to pull the plug on that. So it's not just $700 million that was spent to develop the project. It was already under construction. It is all that time. Now what? What are we going to do? How do you start a river reconnection again? And that's what we want to keep talking about. We know we need that.
Why did they cancel it?
Why did they cancel it? What a simple question, right?
I mean,
you
why?
think how can you easily cancel that? And no. And I don't mean that. I mean that in a, I wish we had one easy answer on why we did it. I think we can know that there was, some politics involved. There were some upset stakeholder groups, but at the end of the day, what do you do now? How do you still move forward with all those groups, all those people here in South Louisiana? What do you do about that money that was spent? how do you find new money? How do you get that trust back from the public about understanding what you're building to help protect them in their future? A lot of times when we talk about restoration, it can feel like kind of sciencey. It can feel like we're talking about bugs and bunnies and things like that. But really, these projects are also protection for communities. They are vital economic engines. They're protecting that river, but they're also driving the economy. So it's so much more than just bugs and bunnies. It really is people's futures when it comes to protection, when it comes to economic development, when it comes to economic sustainability too. So I think that we may never know why they canceled that project. We can guess that it has, like I said, a lot to do with politics or user groups, specific user groups. But really what we need to talk about is now what? We still need those river reconnections. What can we put in place? How much is that going to cost? We know how much things just keep costing more and more and more and more. And so we know through studies and through just common sense that the longer we wait, the harder and harder it's going to be. Can we end it? That's so. I wish I had a more positive note to end on.
So the legislature is in session.
Yes.
So there are some opportunities here to continue this conversation, even though the project's been canceled.
So
for those of us who heard, well, it's canceled, why are they still talking about it? Explain that.
Because we still need it. We still need that river reconnection. The Louisiana legislature, one of the best post-Katrina reforms that came in our space in the coastal world of protection and restoration was that they said that they had to have a comprehensive master plan. And that sounds really unfun, but it is this idea that they had to have a vision for their future. And so we go through that planning process every 6 years, but every single year, the Louisiana legislature looks at something we call the annual plan. And that talks about how much money we're going to spend here in coastal Louisiana for this year and the next couple of years. But really what that affords us is an opportunity to go to several different committees and talk about the direction of the coastal program, talk about how much money is being invested, how much money is not being invested there. And so that is a very good thing. It puts some sunshine on a plan, on that plan, on the annual plan, but also allows us to talk about the health and direction of the coastal program that really everyone here should be concerned about. Everyone here should be concerned about the health and direction of the coastal program. Are our levees strong enough? Are they taking care of them? Do we have that protection in front of those levees? Do we have enough time? Do we have enough money to build those things? That is something that we should all care about. We have found that there are a couple of champions in the legislature that are willing to ask the questions, that are willing to follow this project. They obviously have a lot on their plate these days, but there are several folks in the legislature that have followed coastal in particular and have followed that direction and have asked some of those questions.
So along those lines, let's say we have a number of WBOK family of listeners who say, I care a lot, but I only have certain bandwidth.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
There is just so much going on.
Absolutely. Yes.
If I identify redistricting, if I identify the Calvin Duncan
clerk of court,
if I identify the city finances and the deficit, if
$200 million.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's like, oh my goodness, I don't know where water's going to fit in.
Well, I would say,
how can they move that into their top 2 or 3?
You have to talk to your legislators, right? You have to talk to them. Not only that, you have to remember that you get to vote for them, right? And you get to vote for the issues that you care about. So I think that's the one most powerful common denominator between all of those things. You have to use your voice. We can't sit here and think, oh, I can't do anything about those fools in Baton Rouge, whatever decisions they're making. That we cannot think that way. You have to call them up, you have to send them letters, and you have to vote. You have to use your voice. I think that's the easiest common denominator right there. And then we have to start having some of those more difficult conversations about the specifics.
Is it difficult, Simone, to get people to understand what you're talking about.
And
I mean the importance of what you're talking about. I mean, because I think most people say, we're not losing any land. What do you mean losing land? You can't lose land. Land doesn't just vanish.
I think
it does.
Yeah. I actually think that we're in a great place here in Louisiana, is that people know about the changes that are happening to the coast. They see them, they can feel them. They know hurricanes get worse. They know there's less land in front of those levees. I actually think that we're really, really blessed to have a community like that we do, that is in touch with the resources that we have here. I think where it gets harder is to explain what some of the solutions are or how complex they can be. It's really, when even sometimes we catch ourselves when we talk about how big these projects are, $3 billion, or the fact that they already spent $700 million. So when you use numbers like that, sometimes you can get lost. But I think that we're actually very lucky here in Louisiana to have folks that are so educated and so aware of how much, the coast is important to them and to their future. And we've seen that, right? We've seen where people are upset by some of these decisions that are being made. We see where people want to have a say-so in their future. When they have these community meetings, we see these people come and they can tell you about the loss that they've seen and some ideas that they have in place. That was built over 2 decades after Katrina, that trust and that engagement. And so I think people have an expectation of that. And so that transparency, using all those words again, right? Transparency and accountability. People want to know what plans you're making for their future. Because I do think they understand. I think they understand in general how important that is. Now, when you start talking about, cost of insurance, or maybe not even being able to get insurance because of where you live or how vulnerable you may be, that's where people really start to understand. And so maybe always, again, not talking about the earth environments of it. We can talk about the economics of it too, and how people can feel that reality every day.
So is the sediment collapsing?
So the river has plenty enough sediment in it, plenty enough sediment to do what we need to do. If it didn't, then we'd be having a totally different conversation. I think in the state's master planning process, a couple of probably around 2012 was when they started to really say we can't have the same place that we had in the 1970s or 80s. We're gonna have to have a smaller, more sustainable delta. We can't do all the things we want to do. There's not enough time, there's not enough money, there's not enough resources. And so that's why that planning becomes even more important. But there is no greater resource than that Mississippi River. It has the sediment, it has the power that we need, it has the fresh water that we need. And we actually need some of that salt water, right? We need a little mix of that to have productive estuaries for the fisheries, not just for, folks that like to fish or to hunt, but also the commercial industry as well. And so, there's a reason why we are the sportsman's paradise, and that balance is really important. But we have to be intentional about that. We have to work harder than ever to achieve that balance. And so there's no one easy solution. It's not just sediment diversions. It's also marsh creation. It's also, barrier islands. It's all those things. We can have it all, but we have to put a lot of work into that.
So is there anything in particular that we can watch for in the current legislative session?
So for right now, they've passed the annual plan. So what they've said is that's just a list of projects that they want to build in the next year or so. We absolutely have to keep our eye on if they're building those projects and how much money that they're spending. I know that there was a discussion in Ways and Means today about both DOTD and CPRA and their effectiveness as organizations. And so we're going to make sure that we keep our eye on the ball, that they are being transparent and they're being held accountable. We do have an action alert right now that is just another really easy way if folks want to let their legislators know that they care. That's a 1 or 2 click situation where they can email. You can look up by your address who your senator and your representative is, and so you can tell them that you care about the coast and you care about the votes that they make for that coast as well too. So we're going to keep our eye on the money a little bit. We're going to hopefully be out soon. They're going to talk about what projects they're going to build. They need to have some community meetings about those. We need to have some public input. So hopefully they're going to be talking about what their plan is, right? And so you cancel this big diversion. Now what? What's next? We need to start building things. We know time is not on our side.
What would be your ideal next steps leading to something that would really be helpful if it's short of this diversion?
That's a really good question. That is a really good question. They have some really great projects on the books that are already in place, but frankly, they're not big enough. They don't match the size and scale of the issue that we face. It's putting a Band-Aid on a severed arm, right? And it's just, that seems really dramatic, but it's true. We are past the point of random acts of restoration. You can't just build that because it makes you feel good. Mm-hmm. We have to start building things, and we were on it. We were in a good direction. We had those important multiple lines of defense. Our friends at Pontchartrain Conservancy coined that term, and we talk about it a lot. You have to have all those layers of protection, starting from barrier islands all the way in. We were on a really good path, and we were building really good projects. What we need are projects that are on the size and scale that face the problem that we're facing. And we can't just say, hey, we're doing this to feel good or to have this short-term gain. We need to make some real meaningful investments here in Louisiana. So that's something that I would want to see. I would want to see a large, big restoration project that covers multiple parishes. Mm-hmm. And, that takes a long time to build, right? And then you can't just build that one time and just walk away from it, right? And that's where we get back to that idea of river reconnections. That had the water, that had the sediment, that was going to keep nourishing it. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to let go of that.
And when you think about, when people think coast, mm-hmm. they think Gulf.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, they don't think about Mississippi River being coast and how.
Yes.
Yeah, I just don't think about that.
Yeah, that's well said. Yeah, I grew up in Houma, and so that the kind of coast was closer, right? And it's sometimes we still have to remind people that New Orleans is absolutely a coastal city, mm-hmm. but that is an interesting discussion about how that muddy fresh water of the Mississippi meets the Gulf. But that's really what built us. And that mix of salt and fresh is what really makes us so productive. And it frankly makes the other states jealous of us. Texas and Mississippi and Alabama, they don't have that resource like we do. And so I think it's really important that we make sure that we tap into that. But yeah, that's an interesting discussion. As a coastal city, we're talking about a river, right? Mm-hmm. That would help us. And the river, that's the future to making us stay around for a long time.
Yeah. So direct folks to how they can contact you.
Yes.
How they can find on all of the legislative stuff that's on the various pages. You know how to go directly to where you need to be because that's what you do.
Yes.
But if somebody's hearing you and say, let me see what Miss Simone is talking
yes.
about. But they're not used to going to the legislative page. They might even find it hard to get the legislative page.
Yes.
How can they easily go to a place where
yes.
they can learn more?
Great question. Our website is MississippiRiverDelta.org. Mississippi, you got to learn how to spell it. Most people do. You got to remember all yeses. Yes, every time. That's my email address every time. MISSI. So MississippiRiverDelta.org. We have some fantastic resources that are talking about, we talked a little bit about the 2-lane study on our socials recently. So that's another quick way that you can get to us. We have a fantastic fantastic communications team and socials there. So I think there's some really great resources there. One thing that we wanted to start doing again, we call them Coastal 101s, right? If you have a club or an organization, a neighborhood association, we have an amazing team of folks that will go if they want a presentation, even on the easiest stuff about how Louisiana was built. What are we going to do now? So we call those Coastal 101s. We love to do those, and we are more than happy to do those. So if you have a neighborhood association, if you have a club or organization that you're part of, we would love to come talk to you. Maybe you have a specific question about the lake or the river. We have some great science experts too that we can put in there. We even have some bird people. Some bird people. So we'll put those bird people on you too if you're really interested. But that's one thing. We want to make sure that we're staying out there and that folks have access to that information that they want to. So let us know if you want us to come speak to your club or organization.
All right, wonderful. This is Will Sutton with Ro Brown. We've been in conversation with Simone Maloz from the Restore the Mississippi MISSISSIPPI. Really important environmental issues, and it's not over just because of the cancellation last year, but it is an important matter of now, what do we do? Because the water's not going away.
No. It is not. It is here to stay. I think more is coming today.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. We really appreciate your coming in, talking with us more about this so we can learn more and know what to watch for. And pay attention to the things that Simone mentioned, and look it up if you're interested. And she's got an opportunity for you and your group to have people smarter than me about this to come on out and talk with you. We are going to our break, and when we come back, we're going to have more news and information that you want to hear. Of course, we had big deals happening on Friday with the Fair Maps mobilization and more. And we got action in City Council and more. So we're going to touch on a number of things when we come back. But we would love to hear from you. What's that talk line number?
504-582-9422. 504-582-9422.
This is WBOK, 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is Monica Pierre along with Sally Ann Roberts Daybone, co-host of Your Power is On.
Tune in Sunday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for music that feeds the spirit. Get your Sunday on.
Right here on WBOK 1230 a.m. and WBOK1230.com, the station you listen to all day long.
Transform your bathroom with the beautiful quality of Bath Planet. As a trusted leader in bathroom renovation, Bath Planet has earned the Good Housekeeping Seal, a symbol of quality and consumer confidence for over 100 years. Get half off installation or 18 months with no interest and no payments. Whether it's tub replacement, a shower replacement, or a tub-to-shower conversion, Bath Planet makes your custom bath fast, easy, and affordable. Here's how it works. 1. Call to schedule your free, no-obligation consultation. 2. Our design experts come to you with real samples to customize your dream bath. 3. Our certified installers complete the transformation in as little as 1 day. And right now, for a limited time, you can upgrade your bathroom for 50% off installation or choose 18 months with no interest and no payments. But you need to call now. This special offer is only available by calling 800-981-8177. That's 800-981-8177. Call 800-981-8177 right now before the offer ends.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. This is Will Sutton. I'm here with Will Brown. On the other side of the glass, we've got Jared holding things down, making things happen, and certainly glad that he's there. Good conversation with Simone. Man, there's always something happening with the environment and the water, and I know we here in Greater New Orleans, we love to have our fun and everything, but there's some serious stuff going on. We don't take care of some of this water stuff. We won't have a place to have this fun. You know, we could all disappear.
Wash us away. Wash us away.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
So I appreciate the work that she does. I know there are others who do this work, and not all of them have the same viewpoint on every aspect, but I'm sure glad that they are paying attention to our water and waterways and coastal areas, and seeing how we can live with the water, and the water can learn to live with us, except in a fight like that, more times than not, the water would win.
Well, you know,
do some things.
And switching a little bit, one thing that we didn't talk about earlier, that,
Yes.
you know, this has been the beginning of our commencement weekend.
Indeed.
Commencements, you know, commencements at Xavier and Loyola, Dillard, and, you know, whole works. So,
yeah.
Congratulations to all the graduates.
Yeah, 2026. And so often we think about the undergraduates, and that's a big deal, and that's the large numbers. But there are folks out there who've been humping on their master's degrees, humping on their EDD, humping on their doctoral degrees. And
all that good stuff.
Yeah, those deeper dive in higher ed, and I'm sure they are just as happy to cross that stage, if not more happy, than the folks who are getting the undergraduate degrees.
I saw it all. Dr. Calvin Mackey's commencement address to pharmacy school, I think, here at Xavier. And, you know, it was really good. You know, like I said, I think I mentioned this last week that the network used to do, I guess they still do. Maybe
they do clips.
Yeah, they still do clips. Yeah, I always enjoyed that every year. Always enjoyed seeing, you know, who was delivering and where and what they said. You know, what little or what people picked from the speech to say.
Yep. Yeah, there are folks who watch those and post on social media portions, and there are some who post the full link so that you, if you have time, but it'd probably take you a good week to watch, you know, so many of them. And there's some who are really good.
Yeah. Have you ever delivered a commencement address?
I have not delivered a commencement
I can't believe
address.
I don't believe that.
I have delivered a convocation address.
Okay.
A little different. But yeah, so nobody getting a diploma. But you're there as a part of the higher education academic programming. And so I enjoyed that opportunity. And I appreciate how different university leaders make their choices about who they're going to have. I saw Queen
What
Latifah.
do you appreciate? Yeah.
Yeah. She gave the commencement address at North Carolina A&T.
Okay.
Yeah. Aggie Pride. Yeah, there were some goodies. And, of course, Congressman Troy Carter delivered the Dillard University commencement speech.
Right.
And he and Lieutenant General Honore and Beverly McKenna from the New Orleans Tribune got honorary degrees at BU as well this weekend. Well, we're going to dive into some more in the next hour for the rest of the program. We're going to take a look at some of the things out of at Baton Rouge, see if we can get some more insights about what's happening with this clerk row, and find out with what happened on Friday, what's developed in the Supreme Court. Where do we go from here? Well, I'm also going to give you an update on early voting. It is what it is. I'll tell you what it looks like after the break. What's that telephone number for the talk line, Ro?
504-582-9422. That's 504-582-9422.
This is WBOK, 1230 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. On NBC's Meet the Press, Energy Secretary Chris Wright says President Trump is open to any ideas that could help lower gas prices, including a possible gas tax holiday.
All measures that can be taken to lower the price at the pump, this administration is in support of.
His comments come as the national average climbs to $4.52 a gallon. Maine is mourning the loss of civil rights leader Gerald Talbot, the state's first black legislator. Talbot died over the weekend at the age of 94. A longtime activist, he was elected in 1972 after fighting discrimination in Portland alongside his family. And the grand opening of Snoop Dogg's Long Beach cannabis store has been postponed over safety concerns. The shop, called SWED, delayed its launch following a deadly shooting at another local restaurant opening tied to Nipsey Hussle. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK. Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton, and with me is Ro Brown. On the other side of the case is Jared. Yay! It is 8:01 a.m. You got somewhere to be at 8? Well, you're late, but, it's only 8:01. You're safe and sound where you are, I hope. And so just make sure that you make it on your way and be safe. Don't speed and crash and find yourself in another location, perhaps a hospital emergency room, where you did not intend to go. Take care of your personal business at home with your makeup, your beard trimming. Make sure you got your teeth if you got that situation. Your knapsack, your debit card, your credit card, your wallet, your purse, your pocketbook. Make sure you got your laptop. Make sure you got everything you need when you are on your way out so that you don't have to get frustrated and you can get near those schools and slow down and make sure you're going 20 miles per hour or less because our babies and our kiddos need to get where they're going. And shout out to the assistant principals on transportation duties and the bus drivers. Thank you for being there for that part of our kids' day to make sure that they get on their way. So, Ro, we had early voting in on Saturday, May 9th. Well, early voting numbers in Orleans Parish, 20,296.
20,296 in Orleans Parish.
In Orleans Parish, yeah. So, in 2024.
Is that a lot?
You decide.
I don't know.
In 2024. Different kind of election, but 2024 early voting numbers was 70,103.
Oh, that means 20 isn't a lot.
No.
That answers that.
Yeah. And we're getting better and better with people requesting absentee or mail ballots, which is a good thing. It doesn't mean they have to vote that way. They can request a ballot if they're eligible, and they can hold on to it and go to early voting if they choose, or they can go out on Election Day on May 16th if they choose. But there were 11,890 absentee ballots requested and mailed for this election. So far, we got back, Registrar has 3,799. Now, doesn't mean those people aren't voting.
Yeah.
It could mean that some of those people are among the 20,000 plus.
Right.
And it could mean that some of them are intending to vote on May 16th. But it also could mean they misplaced the ballot. Or it could mean they're sitting right there on the kitchen table and they haven't done anything with it. But this is the week to get those ballots in, good people. Please, please, please get those ballots in. And so, yes, you can complete it, follow the directions, complete it, get it in the mail today, get it in the mail tomorrow. And I would say Monday and Tuesday are the best days to get it in the mail, maybe Wednesday, because that by the time you get to Thursday and certainly Friday, it's less likely that it will get where it needs to go
in time
by 4:30 p.m. on Friday.
Right.
Now, if you find yourself busy the next 2 or 3 days and you have completed it and you haven't put it in the mail, you can drop it off. And that's okay. The easiest place, there are other places, but the easiest place is just say City Hall and ask where you can drop it off, and you can do that. You just have to make sure that it is dropped off no later than 4:30 p.m. If you come there and say, I was at work, and it's 4:45, they will not accept it. It will not count. And this is a big deal. We've got a lot of important things on the ballot, and we are in the closed primaries voting for U.S. Senate Republican candidate and U.S. Senate Democratic candidate. You're also voting for a public service commissioner if you're in that district. You're also voting for the constitutional amendments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you also have the opportunity in Orleans Parish to vote for a criminal court judge seat and 2 civil court judge seats. You heard or had the opportunity to hear the judicial candidates right here on WBOK in the last couple of weeks. And I hope we can find those clips so that we can make that easy for you at some point this week. But you have the opportunity to listen to the candidates and make your choices if you have not made your choices already. But if you are angry, upset, frustrated, disappointed, PO'd, like me and some other people, one way to deal with that, if you are a registered voter, is to cast your ballot. And if you want to go even beyond that, then cast your ballot in the House race. The governor said it won't count. But if you cast your ballot, then they will see how many people would like their votes to count in a legitimate election that is being challenged.
They don't care.
This is being challenged. So make sure that you take that in consideration and of course, consider the 5 constitutional amendments. Each one has some importance for what is going to happen in our state. And there are a number of places. We're going to get to that this week for those of you who have not already cast your ballots. Ro, what's your take on those numbers? What do you think?
Well, yeah, the numbers, that's not a lot of people, I guess, compared to, what was it, 2024, you said, with the 70,000? Of course, that was a presidential election year, right? In 2024. So, I mean, that probably had something to do with it. But all I can say is that you need to vote. You got to vote. You need and you got to. You got to vote. I mean, I've just never been able to understand people who would say, my favorite was, I ain't about that life.
Yeah, I talked to a guy yesterday. He was complaining about this, that, and the other thing. And he said, but I don't vote. It doesn't make a difference. I don't vote. And he's like, and he's complaining about the mayor. I said, the mayor's not running.
Yeah.
And he's complaining about this. And I'm like, she's not running. And he's complaining about this and that. And then he's complaining about the clerk. And it's like, but did you vote for him? No. And it's like, well, what is going on? So I also looked up the voting for the early voting statewide, and the total is 249,026 for that tally. And among those, 153,798 white people voted. Okay. 86,687 black people voted.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
So,
there you go.
What more do we need to get fired up, folks? We've got a lot of really horrible things happening. And in Orleans Parish, there were 24,095 folks who cast ballots during early voting. There were 70,306 white folks voted, and there were 15,523 black folks who voted. Of course, that's Orleans Parish, and so that's
how many?
Compared 15,523.
So
that's pretty good. Yeah, but that's one parish. But there are others. So I hope that if you haven't voted, that you will plan to vote. If you are eligible to cast an absentee ballot, I hope you will take care of that piece of business. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will talk more about what's going on in this crazy world of ours, and hope to have a update about Friday and moving forward. I am Will Sutton. I'm here with Ro Brown. What's that talk line number for anybody who wants to give a ring?
504-582-9422. 504-582-9422.
This is WBOK, 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Good Monday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. Today, the New Orleans City Council will hold a special meeting to discuss the clerk of court after Governor Jeff Landry signed a new law eliminating the criminal clerk seat. The move blocked Calvin Duncan from taking office, but he may have another chance at getting the position. Today's meeting is expected to take about 45 minutes, and after the council introduces the items, they'll take public testimony, give brief comments, and put it up for a vote. In Baton Rouge, lawmakers will consider a new congressional map this week. The 4 options proposed Friday eliminate one of both majority black districts. Opponents of redrawing the map say it could lead to inaccurate and unfair representation. This all comes after the U.S. Supreme Court struck down Louisiana's current map, ruling it was racially gerrymandered. Governor Jeff Landry removed the U.S. House races from the May 16th ballot while lawmakers redraw a map. A Senate committee will vote on a proposal before sending it to the full Senate. Also, just a reminder, voting for the May 16th election picks back up this Saturday. There's a lot of big races you can vote on. U.S. Senate, Supreme Court Associate Justice, and Bessie District 1. And the New Orleans RTA Board has launched a nationwide CEO search. This comes after the board announced a leadership transition at their most recent meeting. The RTA has not shared any information on the search and their plans for an interim CEO. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK. Have a great day.
Hi, I'm Leo Jackson, host of Sunday Gospel here every Sunday morning, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 12 o'clock till 2 p.m. You don't want to miss this move of God. It happens only on WBOK. You listen to all day long.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Show. I'm Will Sutton. I'm here with Ro Brown.
Good morning, everyone.
Lots going on. And one of those things is Louisiana makes the news again. National news.
What did we do?
We were on 60 Minutes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So
at least the governor was on 60
Minutes.
Yeah.
Well, that was kind of the central part of it.
Seemed to like it. But seemed to be enjoying it.
Yeah, I think he sent out social media a post hours and hours early. I'm going to be on 60 Minutes.
Strutting through the Capitol and everything, smiling, and yep. Staged walks.
Yeah. Well, it certainly is worth looking up for those of you all who have some time and interest. But we would like to play part of what the governor had to say on 60 Minutes. So tune in and listen to this.
In the United States, we get equal rights. No one gets extra rights.
Wow. What? Extra rights. Extra rights. We don't get extra rights.
Yeah.
So sounds like he's overlooking the inclusion. Doesn't like that word.
Nope.
Sounds like he's overlooking the word opportunity.
Nope.
Doesn't like the phrase even playing field.
Nope.
All that is extra.
Extra. Yeah.
All of that is extra. Extra. Didn't mention that he encouraged the Louisiana legislature to pass the map that included the current congressional district that Cleo Fields represents, the 6th congressional district, which didn't seem to be extra rights at that time.
But it is now.
It's unconstitutional, and let's move fast to eliminate.
Governor Landry is one of those, earlier I talked about the long term and the short term. He's one of the short-term guys. Okay? He's one of the short-term guys. He is doing this. I mean, he understands the long-term, but he's really doing it for his president. That's why he's rushing.
Yeah.
To get it done before the November midterms. And that's what it's all about with him, I think. And, the extra and equal rights for all. The last politician that I heard say that during an election, equal rights for all. You know who it was?
Who are you thinking about?
Well, no, who do you think I'm thinking about?
No. I'm going to drink my tea.
Who do you think I'm thinking? The last time I heard somebody, a politician, during an election, constantly saying, equal rights for all, was David Duke.
Oh, okay.
That was one of his, during the gubernatorial election.
Right.
Think about it. Equal rights for all. Mm-hmm. Same thing. That's what this is.
Well, 60 Minutes also
like black people get something extra.
Yeah, 60
you know,
Minutes.
you've been getting something that the rest of us don't get.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, 60 Minutes also made time for Congressman Cleo Fields, who represents that district, which the Supreme Court said is unconstitutional. So Cleo Fields had something to say about that as well.
Congressman Cleo Fields acknowledges black representation in Washington has grown in ways that once seemed impossible. This Congress has more black members than at any point in history, 63.
Is that not progress?
Yeah, it's progress, but it's not progress for Louisiana. There are people who, in this state and others, just will not vote for a black person for anything. You tell me I have to jump a certain height. That's the rule. I can work to do that. Run a certain speed. If that's the rule, let me work at it. I can do that. But if you tell me in order to be elected to Congress, you have to be white, there's nothing I can do about that. I need help from my government.
Well,
okay.
Sounds pretty reasonable to me.
Yeah. 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 It, I agree. Yeah. I mean, sounds simple to me. I mean, not to some other people, obviously, but sounds very simple to me.
Well,
You're shaking your head.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's it's one thing after another, and we had disappointing news after disappointing news after disappointing news. I go back to thinking about the SCOTUS decision, Supreme Court of these United States, striking down enough of Section 2 that removes the guardrails that really have provided pathways for success. Pathways,
yeah.
not a cannon fire. Okay, here's a guarantee. It's not a guarantee.
No,
not a guarantee at all. And some of these very same people in these Republican legislatures have approved districts like this over and over again over the last 2-3 decades.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been okay.
Yeah.
But it's not okay now.
No.
And that is a problem that what happened on Friday in Baton Rouge was good, but it is not enough because if you looked at some of the faces in the committee chambers, it's like, we're listening. We don't care, but we're listening. And at one point, Cedric Richmond said, I've been around politics a long time, and I know how it's going to work. And I know that in the end,
I heard him say that.
You don't care what we say.
Yeah.
And you're going to do what you want to do. But I do appreciate you giving us the opportunity to be heard. And that is a shame.
Yeah. Well,
because these hearings should be opportunities for people to be heard and to hear what people are saying, to consider it rather than go into it with a predetermination of this is what I'm going to do.
Well, you see, I feel a little differently about it, and people have heard me say this before. No, I mean, not. I mean, we agree, but yeah, people have heard me say this before, and you've heard me say, my Bobby Knight line. Yeah. They heard you. They heard those people Friday, but they're not listening to them.
Right.
Yeah. Like he, like the coach told me, he said, the trick is to get them to listen to you. They all hear you, he said. The trick is to get them to listen to you. And, that's what happened Friday. They weren't listening. They heard It's a big difference in listening to someone and hearing someone. And in those hearing rooms, in that packed hearing room or rooms, a hallway at the Capitol in Baton Rouge, there wasn't a whole lot of listening from those people. They heard them. That's all it was.
Well, most unfortunate, but cannot stop. Must keep going. Must keep going.
And I saw some of this on social media this weekend. But, I've always said that the one thing that the state of Louisiana and Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, whatever. The one thing that might make them stop and listen, at least, is football, and specifically college football. And I've always thought, that. If African American athletes, decided they weren't going to attend Southeastern Conference or Confederate schools and play football, that would make some people stand up and listen. And I've seen stuff the last few days on social media with people talking about that. But personally, I've always said that that ship has sailed. That's never going to happen. That's not That's not going to happen in this day and age. You're not going to stop African American athletes from going to those places. That's not going to happen. It's nice to think of, but no, you got to find something else. Yep. That's not going to happen.
Yep. Well, we got a caller. Good morning, James. You're on with Will Sutton and Ro Brown. How are you?
Hey, good morning, fellas. How y'all?
Good morning.
All right. That conversation on social is, like you said, Ro, I don't think it's going anywhere. I think that's a dead in the water. I think we had some traction with Dion. Brother Dion was at Jackson, and that was our opportunity to kind of right the ship. And,
what do you mean? What do you mean?
We had a lot of top 5-star athletes during that time, going to Jackson, going to other HBCUs, and going to other places.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You had one. No, that's not true.
I thought we had some brothers that ended up going to USC from here.
Ended up going where?
USC from here.
What do you mean? University of Southern California?
Yeah.
Going there from
rather than going to LSU.
We've always had some of those. But
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm speaking in reference to.
No.
At that time.
But that doesn't. That's one person or two people or whatever. That's not. It's they went to USC because they wanted to go to USC. They didn't go to USC because the governor is redistricting things. No, they went there because they wanted to go there.
But that's not what I'm referencing. I'm referencing the fact that I just think that I agree with you, and I think that we had the opportunity at that time, regardless of what.
But that's not why they were going. That's not why the people you're talking about went to those schools because they wanted to go to those schools. It had nothing to do with
I think we missing tonight. We're missing each other. I wasn't talking about just the political side, but anyway. So I just wanted to say, did y'all see the 60-minute?
We just
shot last.
We just played some of it. We just played some of it. Yeah.
All right. So the brother, old Jeff, tripped me out about they'll have the opportunity to vote again in November. Does he not realize that politics costs money? I think that's so unfair that anybody who has a political aspiration, subject to the women, this child has to come up with more money to sell themselves to the public. So I just wanted to add my 2 cents. I didn't hear y'all say that. I kind of jumped in at the last second. So
that's okay.
But
no problem.
The audacity for him to act as if there was some type of amends that was made over the course of all these years, even though the Klan has never been arrested. They've never been designated. Well, I guess they've been designated a terrorist organization in recent years, but look where we at now. So,
yeah.
Just wanted to say that, man.
All right,
James.
James.
Cost whoever more money to run for their position that they've been duly elected for.
We hear you. You're right.
Yep. All right.
All right, James. Lord's blessings. Have a great day. All right.
504-582-9422.
That's the talk line number. You want to weigh in, have something to say, have something to add. Perhaps you want to ask a question, and we'll do our best to give you an answer. And if we can't, we'll give you a response anyway. And want to remind you that Congressman Troy Carter is hosting a town hall tonight
at Dillard.
At Dillard University. It's going to be in George's Auditorium. 2601 Gentilly Boulevard is the university's address. But I want to make sure you know that the university's main address is not the entrance that you can use that entrance, but you use the St. Anthony Street entrance if you want to go over to the building where the George's Auditorium is. So the St. Anthony address. So there's a couple of entrances, both of them with bus stops, both of them with security folk there. But if you go to the St. Anthony entrance, you'll be closer to the building where the George's Auditorium is located.
Mm-hmm.
So this town hall will be talking about voting rights and redistricting. Congressman Carter will be there. So will Mayor Helena Moreno. There will be representatives from the New Orleans legislative delegation and representatives from the New Orleans City Council as well. So the doors open at 6:30 p.m. The program starts at 7. If you can make it, you really should. If you can stay for the whole thing, that would be great. If you can't, then please get there, stay for as long as you can. Good opportunity to hear about what has happened and what is going to happen in the coming days. Of course, we got a big meeting at 9 a.m. in City Hall with City Council as they intend to appoint a interim clerk for a new unified role to which no one has been elected. So just want to make sure you're aware of that. So look, we are going to take a break momentarily, and when we come back, we're going to see if we can get some more folks lined up, some of you all, to talk with us about what's going on, and also some of the other folks who have been involved in some of these things to deal with the shenanigans that we have. Philip, we see you. We will take you after the break. What's that talk line number, Ro?
504-582-9422.
This is WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Today is a WDSU First Warning Weather Impact Day. We are talking about some early morning fog, especially for the North Shore. After that, we are talking about some heavy rain beginning after 2 p.m., lasting all the way through midnight. The heaviest of it likely going to happen around 4 to 7 p.m. for today. And then highs reaching 81 to 85, lows for tonight 63 to 70. Rain, though, is expected to end by Tuesday morning. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
Hey, this is Steve Poston. Be sure to listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and Sunday evening at 5 p.m., bringing you the best Southern Soul barroom music with the Southern Soul Weekend Party Mix, hosted by me, of course. I'll be playing your favorite Southern Soul music by artists from all over the South, right here on WBOK 1230 AM or online at WBOK1230.com. The station you listen to longer. Listen to longer. Listen to longer.
Life has a way of shifting priorities, changing needs, and pivoting plans. Home Bank is there for all of them. Their bankers partner with you for every step along the way, from understanding your needs to celebrating your success. Home Bank is invested in the vibrant spirit of our community and in you. So partner with them. Stop on by any banking center in the greater New Orleans area or visit home24bank.com to get started today. Good for business, good for life. Home Bank, a member of the FDIC.
Step back in time and experience the moments that shaped our world at the National World War II Museum, located in the heart of the Warehouse District in New Orleans. This world-renowned museum brings history to life, telling America's story in the war that changed everything, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. From immersive exhibits to powerful personal stories, this is more than a museum. It's an experience. Plan your visit today at nationalww2museum.org. World War II Museum, where history lives.
City Park is where to go when you don't know where to go. Turn towards the city center and start walking. Before long, you'll end up where you belong, at the heart of the city, New Orleans City Park. Stroll along the reeded marsh, wander through the sculpture garden, rest and recharge beneath ancient oak trees. This is where your spirit goes to grow. It's in our nature to yearn for nature. NewOrleansCityPark.org, heart of the city.
I'm Cynthia Willard Lewis, and I encourage you to vote Nick Alvarez. He will protect Louisiana families and fight for lower health care costs for everyone. Vote Nick for U.S. Senate.
I'm Nick Alvarez, and I approve this message.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. This is Will Sutton. I'm here with Ro Brown. It is 8:37 a.m. You got somewhere to be at 8:45. You got a few minutes, and you're in even better shape if you're one of those folks who has work on the other side of the bed. You can just move over, fire up the laptop, and get to work. The opportunity to hear about Friday, what happened in Baton Rouge, and more will be coming up shortly. And meanwhile, we're going to hear from a caller. Good morning, Philip. You're on Will Sutton and Ro Brown. How are you, sir?
I've been listening to you all for a minute now, and I have to strongly disagree about
which part?
The HBCU and black athletes at the SEC schools.
Oh. Okay.
We're in a time of choosing, man, and they're trying to reinvent or reconstitute the Confederacy, and we got to fight on every front. And all the leverage we have, we got to bring to bear. And yes, we got to vote. We have to do all kinds of things. But this defeatism about what can't happen. I graduated from HBCU, Southern and Baton Rouge. And let me tell you, man, if we have the right messaging, the right voices, bringing this message that, hey, you need to leave this Jim Crow South football programs and truly be educated and truly be valued, if we have the right messaging, those young black men will listen. but we don't need no defeatism. They said slavery wouldn't end. Jim Crow wouldn't end. Certainly didn't end without doing some serious fighting. So, yes, I truly believe, because I've heard from black athletes when I was on campus, and all the LSU guys was coming on Southern campus. So it can happen, but you all got to get some fire in the belly. People don't want to vote because they don't care. Y'all need to get some fire in the belly, man. We in a time of choosing, and we cannot just roll over and, well, we can't do that, and that will never happen. Hell no, it won't happen if you don't do nothing. We need to get you black men out here on the media. People respect y'all, man. Come on, bros. Y'all need to, we know what needs to be done. Those guys are not getting educated. They're being used, and we know that. I'm 60 years old, man. I was on the yard in 83. I saw it firsthand. If they have the right messaging, the right people bringing that message, we can use that leverage to bring this Confederacy down again. It's going to be different tactics and strategies, but we got to use all the leverage good Lord has given us to fight this mess. And we need you guys out there that the people respect, bringing that message too.
Well, Philip, I don't know if you've been listening to the Good Morning Show, but I think hold on, Philip. We listen. So I'm going to respond to the vote for it, and I'm going to ask Ro to respond to the HBCU point. But we've been talking about registration, participation, voting, this particular election for days and days, every day, one way or another. So I don't think we are not paying attention to it. I don't think we don't have any fire in the belly. I don't think that we are saying that this too will just go away and it'll be okay. We're not saying that at all. And to the contrary, hold on, Philip. To the contrary, we are doing what we can and wide open to any and all other callers and ideas. Matter of fact, we're going to hear about Friday momentarily. Right now, I'm going to ask you to listen to what Ro has to say. Lord's blessings, Philip. Have a great day.
Oh, okay. He didn't have to hang up. But anyway, I think that would be great if that would happen. Mm-hmm. I think it'd be terrific if that would happen. Mm-hmm. During the gubernatorial election in 91, David Duke and Edwin Edwards, Dave Dixon, the guy, father of the Superdome and Saints and all that good stuff. He called me at my office and said, we got to do something about this. But David Duke might win. I mean, that's exactly what he said. So we got to do something. I mean, this guy can win. Mm-hmm. And one of the ideas he came up with, he made commercials and he ran in North Louisiana and Central Louisiana. Well, he told them, he said, look, David Duke becomes governor. It's going to affect LSU football. It's going to affect their recruiting. I mean, what clear thinking black parent would send their kid to play football at LSU if David Duke is the governor here? Now, what effect that had? He said that Edwin Edwards told me, he said, yeah, I think it had a little effect with some people or whatever. So no, I think it would be great, Philip. I think it would be great. But I don't think the people that we're dealing with have the fire in their belly either that you want. Especially not when you're in high school and they're giving you $1.5 million in this day and age. And the HBCUs can't do that. Okay? That's just a fact. Okay? 1.5, but some of them, $8, $4, and $5, and $6 million right out of high school. Mm-hmm. That's where it is now. And those are the people who need the fire in the belly. Yep. And it's just hard to do. I mean, I don't disagree with you. I think it would be terrific if that happened. Mm-hmm. I've always felt that way.
Yep. All right. Well, we're going to the phone line. Ashley Shelton from the Power Coalition. You're on with Will Sutton and Ro Brown. Thank you for making some time to talk with us. Fair Maps mobilization happened on Friday. A Senate Governmental Affairs Committee happened on Friday. Some people would say it was democracy in action. Some would say it was democracy. What the heck happened on Friday, Ms. Shelton? You were there.
I was. Good morning. Good morning. It was a beautiful thing. I mean, I had the opportunity the night before to do a briefing and talk to a couple of folks in community, and so many folks, across communities in Louisiana took off from work to show up at the Capitol. I mean, it was definitely close to about 500 people. I mean, they took every committee room on the Senate committee side. They were in every single room. That's how much overflow there was. The hallway, you could not move. It was full of folks. There were chants. There were, folks, filling out red cards. We had buses from Shreveport, Monroe, Alexandria, as well as New Orleans. And so you really saw people, showing up and saying like they were not going to just stand here and allow, them to erase voting rights and the voices of, minority voters. And so it was a powerful day. I mean, I think, one of the things that struck me the most was seeing the only four Black elected members of Congress, kind of sitting all at the table, and they're the only four that ever got to serve, right? There was one other that was elected but never got to serve in the 220 years that Louisiana has been a state, and so it was just a lot of powerful images. They closed the state cafeteria, at the state legislative cafeteria, which I thought was really interesting. So, you've got almost 500 people in the building, waiting to have their voices heard. The last person didn't speak until after 6 p.m. And the only food.
Yeah. It was all day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so, we bought box lunches into the hallways to make sure that folks could be fed and taken care of. But, there was a lot of things happening, at the Capitol on Friday, but it was definitely it was definitely a day to be proud that, white, Black, young and old, gathered at the Capitol to say, we won't stand for this. We got to see Leona Tate came up and gave comments. I mean, it was just a lot of history, at the table throughout the day, as well as just, the power of community voices. And so, and we got to keep doing it. They're going to actually vote on the map that they heard on Friday, on Wednesday. So it's another day to show up at the Capitol and have your voice heard. As they try to move, as they vote this bill out of the Senate, and then it'll go over to the House. But so that's happening on Wednesday. And I think another thing that's happening that folks aren't talking about is that, we saw every single day of early voting, we saw more than 30% African American voter turnout. And on Saturday, I think it was 44% Black voter turnout. And, we're, again, a third of the population, and we showed up at our level of, population every day of early voting. And so I do think that, there's some stuff brewing. There's some things brewing, and folks, we need to just continue to pay attention. We need to keep showing up, and we need to keep, doing the things that we can do. We need to close the registration gap. We need to get as many folks to vote on Saturday if they haven't already early voted, and continue to send these messages.
Well, I was looking at some of the data, and maybe I'm off, but I think I saw 20,000 voting in Orleans Parish. Seems to me that that's an okay number, but it could be higher. And with the number of Black folks who voted, seems like that too could be higher. So higher recently with this recent series of early voting days, but how can we get closer to our percentage in the population?
Yeah, across the state, right? I mean, well, in New Orleans, absolutely. I think folks have to show up on Saturday. I mean, I think that the only answer to destroying the Voting Rights Act has to be to show them what they're afraid of, which is that to have en masse Black and other, and minority voter participation. And so, you can go to powercoalition.org and download a sample ballot, because this is a big ballot. We've got Public Service Commission, you've got a Supreme Court seat, you've got a U.S. Senate, you have 5 constitutional amendments, and we need everybody's voices to weigh in. And as you know, spring elections are typically low, voter turnout elections. Usually looking at about 15% voter turnout. So, and so the numbers are low, and they could be better, absolutely. But what we're seeing is certainly over what a traditional spring election numbers would look like. But we have to, this is not a regular moment. This is an election in Louisiana after they destroyed the Voting Rights Act, and our legislature is actively taking away people's voting rights. And so this is, Power Coalition's offering rides to the polls. We are, again, we're just asking everyone to engage and take some time, to make this happen. And, and at the end of the day, the only response to folks trying to take away your voice is to vote. It is to show up en masse and make sure that folks know that, they may be able to neuter your voice in some ways, but they certainly can't stop the power of Black and other minority voters in statewide elections, and which include these constitutional amendments.
Well, there were 4 maps, as I understand it, before that committee on Friday. And what's the status of 1, 2, 3, or 4 of those maps, and what's coming up Wednesday?
Yeah, so I don't know if it was the amount of people at the Capitol, but they ended up limiting they only discussed Ed Price's bill, which was SB 407, which was the only bill that folks supported because it kept to majority minority districts, and then the other was Jay Morris's bill. Which was, I want to say it was 116, SB 116, which again was one of these maps that just absolutely destroys the second majority minority district. And so those were the only 2 discussed. And so not really sure, what they're going to do about the other maps, right? But like the only ones that have been heard in committee so far have been those 2. And so we'll have to see if they try to put those back in the other maps in play in committee on Wednesday. But in terms of what, what'll be voted out of the Senate should only be able to be those 2, since there is only a hearing on those 2.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So next steps between now and Wednesday, and should people show up, or can they show up on Wednesday?
Yes, they can show up, and we've heard from so many groups that are already, getting the message out to their members, and they're going to be showing up on Wednesday. You should absolutely show up. If there was ever a time to take off from work and be present, this is one of those historical moments, I think, that we'll look back on. And so this, again, we'll be on the Senate. It'll be on the Senate side. And so definitely want folks to join us again. Typically they start at 9 a.m. And like to just be present and pull your senator from, the room, at request a seat to them. Take the time to do the things that matter, which is for them to know that the people that voted for them, or just constituents in their district, are here in the room. And so again, we'll be gathering. There'll be Power Coalition will have, lots of information and staff and volunteers on site. So if you have questions or need additional information, we'll be making sure that you have everything that you need. And we absolutely ask you to join us at the Capitol on Wednesday.
Okay. Well, we've got a couple of calls. You have just a few minutes more?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do.
All right. Hold on. Good morning, Don. You're on with, Lord. You're on with Will Sutton and Ro Brown. And we'll try to get Ashley Shelton back on the line. Do you have a question or a comment related to what we're talking about?
Hello?
Don?
Hello?
Yeah.
Do you have a question or comment related to redistricting?
Yeah, I'm just saying how we talk about Voters' Rights Act, but the Voter Rights Act, is it not related to the voting rights of 1870, the 15th Amendment? So, the 15th Amendment was ratified in 1870.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And 1870 also, you had the U.S. Patent Act, signed by President Ulysses S. Grant. And the patent, so we had the protection of the 15th Amendment for voting, but we also had the Patent Act for the right of inventions and innovation that Black people didn't have before 1870. And so what I'm saying is, people talk about they're not going to do anything that's why they don't vote. Voting is tied to economics, because many of the Black inventors, which had over 50,000 patents in the golden age of the Industrial Revolution, and even in New Orleans, you had the exposition in 1884, where inventions were displayed. But nevertheless, we tend to separate the issues that affect us every day. The economics where Black inventors and innovators were able to patent their ideas, even today. You're talking about NIL. That's under the trademark, which is part of the patent office now. Trademark. These guys, NIL is a part of the trademark. So we have to not separate.
We got you. I'm going to ask that you hang up and listen to Ashley's response. Lord's blessings. Have a great day.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's absolutely right. I mean, we're talking about the 14th and 15th Amendment, right? And I think that we saw an Alabama legislator say that he hopes the Supreme Court
strikes it down.
Strikes it down.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, folks, we're talking about citizenship, right? And I think that, what the Supreme Court has already done with the Voting Rights Act and striking it down, all right, and fully neutering it is already part of that, right? Which is that if you don't have representation, what does citizenship truly mean anyway, right? And so I think that there's a lot to pay attention to in the moment, right? That the 14th and the 15th Amendments are Reconstruction amendments. And they are certainly the amendments that protect minorities. And, and I remind folks that after Reconstruction, folks always think that this is just about Black people, but this is not just about Black people, because these amendments codified the Bill of Rights into the states, holding the states accountable to the U.S., the U.S. government.
All right, we're going to take Pop Jones 30 seconds. 30 seconds, Pop Jones, and then we're going to go.
Oh, 30
Only 30 seconds.
That's it.
Taking my call. Another great day. God woke us up this morning. I just saying, ain't that a shame that people trying to take our dreams away from us?
Indeed. Mm-hmm. All right.
I don't understand, and it's not just doing it to us, but maybe some of the other people don't know it, but they just wait. They're going to see. If they don't feel it already, I wonder when these people sleep.
Absolutely. Lord's blessings, Pop. We're going to have to go. Ashley, closing thoughts.
I feel like I'm in college every day when I listen to WBOK and listening. Thank you for taking my call.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Ashley, closing thoughts.
Yeah, look, so please, if you are interested in joining us at the Capitol on Wednesday, for them as they vote these maps out of the Senate. Please join us. And then, of course, we have an election on May 16th. And, we will be out and about. You can download your sample ballot at powercoalition.org. You can also, find out information around getting rides to the polls or anything that you need to be able to support your ability to vote on Saturday.
All right. Thank you. And, folks, I did a little vote video. It's on NOLA.com. Check it out. Ashley, you might want to check it out, too.
It was really great. It was amazing. I know. I'm a fan.
Really?
Yeah.
A video?
All right. Folks, 9 a.m. City Council meeting dealing with the clerk position. I don't know if Cameron Duncan will be there or if Chelsea Richard Napoleon will be there. City Council will be there. But let's see what's going to happen. What's it going to be? Unified in what way? This is
like a tease to me.
This is WBOK, 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.